holy nostalgic misfire, Batman! Gee willikers, everybody. When I first heard that we were going to get an animated version of the 1960s Batman series, I was over the moon excited. I grew up watching this series, and aside from Michael Keaton being my first exposure to a live-action Batman, it was Adam West and Burt Ward that I really thought were just kind of like the best thing going that I could ever think of as far as Batman goes. And with Return of the Cape Crusaders, it managed to capture a lot of that magic that I can remember back from watching that series, growing up with my dad especially. But at the same time, it kind of made me just want to watch the old series again. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not. But basically what we have here is a real treat for especially fans of the original show and the original voice, and the original actors, I should say, because Adam West, Burt Ward, I almost wanted to say Burt Reynolds there. And then eventually Burt Reynolds is Robin. With the mustache and the chest hair. Oh man, you guys know you want to see that now. Anyway, Burt Ward and Julie Newmar reprising the roles of course, Batman, Bruce Wayne, Robin, Dick Grayson, and Catwoman. And the rest of the voice cast is actually really, really excellent. Unfortunately, Burt Ward's the only remaining cast member who's actually alive from the original show, and the people that got to cover these characters was actually really impressive. So we've got a really good impersonation of Burgess Meredith, Cesar Romero, Frank Gorshin's voices, and it's really, really impressive to kind of just have that flashback, and it's really, really well done. The art style is fantastic. It looks like it looks like they just lifted the comic pages, because they've been doing a Batman 66 comic book for the past couple of years, and it seems like they just pulled it right off the page, and it's so vibrant and so just goofy that you can't help but put a smile on your face. The plot here is pretty simplistic. Batman and Robin swing into action to take down the Riddler, Catwoman, Joker, and the Penguin, and they are in the pursuit of this duplication ray, and basically duplicates anything. And they manage to get it back from the villains, and in the process, Batman is drugged. Catwoman manages to scratch him with something that she calls Batnip. And he is drugged, and slowly but surely, he starts turning a little bit more villainous, if you will. Not so much the old chum and more of like the, hey asshole, get out of my way kind of evil. Very, very, it's done very well. Adam West really sells the whole evil, old school Batman vibe very, very well. And slowly but surely, he starts to realize that, well, nobody can do the job like Batman can, and so I'm going to do the job for everybody. And so he starts using the duplication ray on himself and just taking over the mayor's office. Basically every job in Gotham City he takes over, whether it's the baker, the chief of police, the mayor, everybody. Mayor Batman, it becomes a thing in this. And slowly but surely he takes over the entire city, and his goal is to take over the entire world. And in the process, Robin and Catwoman have to figure out a way to defeat him, and so they get into various situations where they try to, cure him with an antidote, but it backfires because Batman's Batman, and he always has, the anti-antidotes. Of course, everything is labeled in this movie too, which is pretty great as well. And by the end of the movie, it's revealed that Alfred managed to anti-antidote the effects of all of the things that Batman's been ingesting, gets him back on the, the path of the righteous, as it were, and the day is saved. It's a very simplistic plot. And that's really okay. I mean, it's not like any of the episodes from the old series were all that complicated. It's just very much villain of the week, have some cool fight scenes with some pows, some bangs, and some zaps, and that's the end of it. And, some very straight delivered lines by Adam West. I can remember the episode where they walk into the nightclub and he asks the host for a booth by the wall so as not to attract attention. And just the way that he always delivered those lines, just so deadpan and show just completely committed, just makes the delivery of even these lines now, and, and of course, with Adam West passing, just a couple of weeks ago, you can still tell that he had it. I read a short little interview online that basically said it took him about 5 minutes to get back into the Batman role again. So that's really cool that he still has that, buried deep within inside of him. And it's so sad that he's passed away now. He is forever the Bright Knight. But it's cool that he got one more appearance as Batman here, and they actually managed to record a second movie with him. It's going to be Batman versus Two-Face, and that's going to be awesome to see, because do sort of like a posthumous release would be really great for him, I think. Just kind of keep that legacy living on. But yeah, so the movie's pretty simplistic. It's pretty goofy. And there's a lot of things to like here. And like I already mentioned, there's labels on everything, whether it's the Bat Analyzer, the Bat Antidote, the Bat Cuffs, or just whatever the heck it's going to be. And it's really cool to just see that. And that's part of the aesthetic that really it just drives everything home. That was one of the great things about the old series, is that it was such a parody of what at that point Batman had sort of become, and it was really the last time we saw this kind of Batman. The more the years went on, the next really big screen appearance was Tim Burton's vision of that, and that just super oppressive gothic aesthetic here just really flipped this whole 60s sort of just wacky vibe out the window, and it's really captured well in this. There's a lot of really great callbacks to previous Batman movies. There's a bit where Batman's fighting the villains on a space station, and he's like, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." Just pure Michael Keaton delivery right there. There's a reference to The Dark Knight Returns, where he references him being on an operating table, and he's the surgeon, where he beats the crap out of the Riddler. Of course, at this point, he's gone full evil Batman mode, and that's really, really cool to hear those little callbacks to it. The voice talent, as I mentioned, is fantastic. Everybody does a great job impersonating the roles that the original actors filled in, and I really, really love that. Some of them have been in more recent. I believe the Riddler's voice actor, whose name I'm forgetting all of a sudden, voiced the Riddler in all of the Arkham games. So it's cool that there's a sort of a precedent set for these actors to do other Batman roles, and that's really cool. It knows how to make fun of itself. For all of the goofiness that was in that old series, the labels, the pows, the zings, the holy, rusted metal Batman, or whatever it's going to be, all those lines that Burt Ward delivered. It knew exactly what to do to make fun of itself. There's even little references to the idea that Batman and Robin have always been homosexually or sexually involved with each other, which is just... You go back and you read those old comics, and it's very apparent that that's there, but that's not here. That's neither here nor there. All the old school villains that show up, and there's a great Prison Break. I'm going to make sure I got the list here correct. So we get to see Archer, Black Widow, Bookworm, Clock King, Egghead, Falseface, King Tut, Louis the Lilac, Mad Hatter, Mistral, Mr. Freeze, Sandman, Shaman, Siren, and... It's just cool to see all these old characters, because like the costumes for the day back then were just so ridiculous, but looked so cool, to a very young Alex. And it's cool to see all of them. And like I said, all the nods to the previous Batman films as well. There's a couple of shots of some suits hung up in the Batcave that are very clearly original Batman costumes and later Batman costumes. Even the Batcave has some aesthetics taken from later incarnations. The giant Joker card is hung up inside the Batcave, as is the giant Tyrannosaurus Rex, which has always been a favorite part of the Batcave for me, at least. A couple of things did really take away from me watching this, though, and it really kind of, I won't say ruined, but it really took away from my enjoyment of this movie. It comes off... It seems like it's trying a little bit too hard. It seems like every line that Burt Ward delivers is a holy insert thing here, Batman, or just it's constant, like, and it comes off as silly at a point, and there's just too many goofy little lines, and it almost feels like an Adult Swim parody, kind of like the Venture Brothers is to old school Johnny Quest. And I think that the creators of this didn't quite get the source material, or maybe they thought that it just took it a little bit too far, and really lost the spirit of the original 1960s series. And I think that really hurts it in a way that a lot of old school fans like myself, and especially if you're the older generation who actually grew up watching the old series, you'll get some enjoyment out of it to begin with, but by the end of it, you'll just kind of get tired of all the stupid one-liners. And if I'm honest, it kind of ruins the whole thing for me. The fight scenes are great because with all the pals, the baps, and the zips, and the zaps, and that's all great there. But it takes itself, it takes itself a little too seriously, not unlike the old series did, but at a point it just starts trying too hard to say, hey, remember this and how funny this was when you saw this maybe twice a week back in the day, or when you watch it on DVD or Blu-ray. It's these couple of one-liners, but they're like, it's so jam-packed in there, it just like, it completely loses the effect that just hearing those one little lines is like. and to be sure, there are some really good one-liners, but at the same time, there's just it's almost too much. I think they also didn't do the Batmobile startup. Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed, and what was that? Minor points aside. As it stands, though, Return of the Cape Crusaders is a great nostalgic trip for old school fans, and and people who just enjoy Batman, who maybe might not have seen this. I definitely, if you are interested in seeing what Batman was like back in the 60s, go and check out the movie that was released back then. It actually features all the villains, and it's a really goofy story. You'll get to see the "some days you just can't get rid of a bomb" scene, and it's classic scenes like that really show off just how great I think the original Batman series was. And if you enjoy that, go out back and check out the original episodes as well. It's a great series. It is one of the true classics of that era, and it really stands the test of time as just a good sort of time capsule of where Batman has been, and how Batman will always kind of be a part of pop culture as it stands. This I was not super impressed by, but it was good for the 118 minutes it took me to watch it. So there's that. Wanted to do something a little bit different for this week, especially with my birthday last week, and also Adam's passing. Wanted to pay a little bit of tribute to him. So it's a great way to remind us, just how great he was. And, he is, of course, the Bright Knight. So yeah. Check it out if you're interested, but it's pretty passable if you ask me. Next week, we're going to get back on schedule with our usual DC Animated Movie Universe reviews with All-Star Superman. And I'm pretty psyched to talk about that one because it is probably one of the best Superman stories, standalone Superman stories that's been told in a good long while. So definitely looking forward to watching that again and talking to everybody about it. So tell me what you thought about Return of the Cape Crusaders. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Did you enjoy all the goofy jokes? Did you enjoy all the labels on everything? I think I should start labeling things in my apartment as well, so I'll probably do that later. But yeah, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and check out things that I'm doing every week over here on the channel, whether it's magic related or superhero related. Always looking forward to doing more of these for you guys, so if there's something you want to see me review, let me know. I'll put it into consideration. I'll put it in the idea hat, and we'll go from there. But as always, old chums, thanks for watching, everybody.